Good day to you, and welcome to Game Sweet Zone, the series where we learn about video game music by recreating them. We're going to take a look at the theme that plays during the preparation screen in Mario Party, which was composed by Yasunori Mitsuda in 1998. You're going to help me, buddy, aren't you? Okay, maybe not. Import the original music and use a metronome to figure out stuff like this. I've probably said this about a million times already. The time signature is 3/4 and the tempo is 121. The bass notes are pretty simple. We'll be using a balconish double bass for this one. We will also use equalization to add and remove frequencies, which changes what our bass will sound like. But wait, if pitch is defined by how many wave cycles per second there are within a sound, also known as frequency, then why doesn't the pitch change when we alter frequency themselves? We're simply changing the amplitude of certain frequencies, thus changing their presence. Why don't we take a look at it? This is what equalization sounds like in action. Volume warning, by the way. That pretty much covers it for this pattern though. It just goes on forever and doesn't really stop. It's kinda like how they all continuously fall down that huge pipe. Little do they know that they're all falling to their doom. Toad just doesn't want to go alone.
I want to play a game.
Flutes play the main melody here, which is also quite simple. It utilizes harmony, a theory which involves putting two or more notes together to get more pleasing sounds.
That's an offer I can't refuse.
Mr. Mitsuda and many other composers could have easily just made single line melodies, but adding multiple pitches to them makes them sound much more different. Oh, and of course, just know that not any two pitches will work. Anyway, let's see the difference, without and with harmony. That's not all though. We did go through some equalization of course, but we also utilized a bit of delay here as well. You'd be surprised, even with just a little bit of delay, you can make pretty significant changes to the qualities of a sound. Let's compare the flute's notes without and with delay. I'd argue that this sounds a bit closer to the original sound, but I'll leave that up to you to decide. The Glockenspiel is what plays those high-pitched sounds throughout the piece. Like every other instrument here, it plays the same pattern repeatedly. As you can probably guess, we've basically delayed the sound too, which is a totally healthy solution to all of our problems. No pain, all the gain. Anyway, as usual, I recommend trying out different effects. Explore a bit, especially if everything's new to you. You'll learn more if you take different chances. Speaking of chances, I still remember the time you stole all of my stars through chance time. You know who you are. You have not been forgiven. For the percussion section, we will be using a combination of Latin shakers and a tambourine. Besides some small EQ changes here and there, there's not very much to them. Light percussion instruments like these, whether it be a drum's hi-hat or some maracas, can be a deciding factor between a composition feeling empty or not. They tend to blend in quite well. I'm willing to bet you've listened to a ton of music and never noticed a hi-hat playing in the background. Try to listen out for percussion like that more closely next time. You'd be surprised. Anyway, it's pretty noticeable here considering there's not too much happening sound-wise. Here's the pattern. But that's not all, folks. I'm not done milking this episode yet. We're going to have more parts come in as the player progresses through the setup screen. Therefore, we're just going to add 2 parts. The music of Mario Party loves xylophones, so that's exactly what we'll be using. We're going to use what's called doubling, which involves 2 instruments playing the same note to achieve a new sound. You can also call it layering. We will use this for the main melody and have a vibraphone play on the offbeats. Our final touch to this recipe will be a pinch of some strings. Just get a string ensemble, get your local orchestra ensemble, get an ensemble of cheese strings, whatever you prefer to keep you company at night. Lo and behold, the mastering and panning is also quite simple. Panning's on the left and the knobs on the right are for volume. The instruments are generally panned somewhat separately. I decided to give the instruments more space this time around. The tambourine moves between the left and right speakers suddenly and frequently, while the Glockenspiel slowly moves left and right and repeats. Finally, to close off the piece, we will do a fade out by creating an automation clip for the master volume. Just have it go downwards into silence. With that being said, that just about covers this piece. It was short and sweet, so it had to be my next victim. Stay a little longer to listen to our result if you like. Thanks for watching and we will see you another time. Anytime at all, really.